Hey everybody, it's Tiffany from Rangemaster, and I'm back with another episode of Meet the Trainers. Here is a familiar face, I should hope, to most of you, because Cecil, you've been teaching at TACCON for, gosh, I don't know, since you were a wee pup.
I think this is my 11th year. Not so much since I'm already old. So I was just slightly less old when I started.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go with that. I would beg to differ, but that's for another time, another show. For
Sure.
now, how about you introduce yourself and introduce immediate action combatives to anybody who is new to TACCON?
Okay. My name's Cecil Burch. I've been a martial artist now for 43. This is my 43rd year of doing this. And at this point, I've trained everything, all whatever martial arts out there. I probably spent some time doing it at some point. I have instructor certs and a bunch of stuff. Mostly what I focused on the last 25 years or so is what a lot of people refer to as a combat sports, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, boxing, and wrestling. And then trying to figure out how to make that work in a modern self-defense context. Possibility of weapons, possibility of multiple opponents, what are the legal ramifications of all that kind of stuff. And I go around the country teaching it, and then I teach here locally.
And does a better job of it than anybody else, I might add. Thank you so much
Well,
for
thank
that.
you. Thank you. I appreciate
And that was a perfect segue into your class, which you've been teaching a version of this class for a couple
Mhm.
of years now because it's
Mhm.
so popular. And I totally love the concept, just enough jitsu. Tell us
Mhm.
about that and tell us how you have to be an absolute fitness guru in perfect shape, young and athletic in order to get anything out of your class, right?
Yeah, oh no, oh yeah, sure, because I fit that bill. I'm so young and athletic. Um, no, I do this class is really, this block's really near and dear to my heart because I really only teach it at TACCON. So that's what makes it special a little bit to me. And then also the person who kind of pushed me to it was William April. So
Mm,
that gives me a little bit more touchstone to it.
yeah.
William was, years ago was like, hey Cecil, there are people who might not have the ability to train something. Maybe they live far enough out that
Mhm.
there's no boxing or judo or wrestling or jujitsu places around them. um Maybe their jobs make them travel a lot, they just don't have the time to be at a place, or maybe they got physical issues, or they're just they're leery. I don't want to say intimidated, that's that's a little pejorative. I don't mean it like that, but
Mhm, mhm.
maybe they're a little leery about stepping into, a meathead knuckle dragger gym with guys who look like me, or, Chris Fry, or, Larry. God forbid you step into academy with Larry Lindemann. Jeez. You, you,
Yeah.
you should be leery of that.
Oh, yeah.
But so, and William's like, but don't those people deserve something too? The ability to use something. And he was right. He was right. So I thought, well, what can I do in under 2 hours, right? Hour, 50 minutes, right?
Mm,
So it's literally designed for that person who's not done anything, who's never done anything, who might have physical issues, who don't know what they're getting into. And it's, what are the things that I could get across in less than 2 hours that maybe will give them something useful, right? So the first thing we cover, and I think maybe it's the most important, is how not to get hurt when you fall. Um, and I think that's such an important thing, even outside of self-defense. That's why I don't
mhm.
like using the term self-defense, even. I like using the term self-preservation, because
Nice.
self-defense is very limited to defending yourself from, bad guys, which is good.
Right.
But that's a sliver of what we should be doing, right? It should be, I'd like to preserve my life and well-being everywhere, include, not all of us have had to fight violent criminals, or been in those things, but every single one of us have fallen at some
Absolutely.
point in our lives.
Yes.
And if we haven't yet, we will at some point. So it's sort of a skill set, is like, hey, let's not be that person who bangs their head off the
Mm,
asphalt and dies.
mhm.
Let's not be that person who breaks a major limb or breaks your hip, God forbid, and then all that cycle that happens. So we work on that. How, oh, for whatever reason, you've been pushed, punched, thrown down, or you just trip, how not to get hurt. So we'll spend a good chunk of the class on that. Um, and then what if you are on the ground, if you do find yourself on the ground when you didn't want to be there, how do you keep from getting worse? Right? How do you put yourself in the best position possible? Not going into all the cool, oh, we're going to do this and this and this. Just minimize those gaps, minimize those windows of vulnerability. So teach you how to position yourself. And then if we have time, then we'll talk about trying to see, can we stand up? Can we get back to our feet? And at the very least, if we can't spend all the time doing that, at least you can see, people will be able to see that that's not an easy thing to do, with all the, subject matter experts online talking about, oh, you find yourself on the ground in a fight, just get back up.
Just get
okay.
up.
Just get up. Okay. Well, here, come to my class and let's see if you can do that. So that's sort of the gist of it. So anybody can do it. And this is going to be my 4th year teaching this, I think. And we've had everybody from, 14-year-old girls on up to guys in their 70s who have just had hip replacement surgery, 6 months before. And in New Orleans, we were doing it on asphalt, and we had no injuries, we had no problems. People were going, oh, I can do this. Oh, this isn't so ridiculous that I can accomplish something. So, the nice thing at Dallas, in Dallas Pistol Club, Guy Schnitzler, who's a wonderful person, a human being, brings mats, and then he and I set him up Thursday night. So we've got mats along with nice soft grass. So it's a nice, easy thing. And the pace is however you want to do it. I'm not a drill instructor, and I don't have any desire to be. I don't have any desire to go, I'm going to make you guys killers and meat eaters in an hour and 50 minutes. It's here, let's work on some skill stuff. If you need to set off for the second, catch your breath, grab a drink of water, cool. I'm not going to be, pointing the accusing finger of wussiness at you. No, I think if anybody does anything to make them better, then I'm going to give them the pat on the back and the help, not like, oh, you're not doing good enough. You should be on the mat 8 hours a day. And no, you give me 2 minutes of your time. That's better than a lot of people. So good on you. Everything is in the class is you're showing up. Cool. No shame zone, shame-free zone.
I love it. I love it. And this is what so many people need to get off the fence, if you will, or take their first stab at jujitsu, or even people who maybe have been doing it for longer. I hope that they would still consider your class just to see how you teach and see how to make jujitsu accessible to people. So that, because there's so much benefit to be had by all types of folks of all ages and shapes and sizes and physicalities, that it's a shame to me when people do approach it from that drill sergeant mode, and because so many folks are losing out by being turned off by that. So kudos to you for making it approachable to everybody. We really appreciate it. I'm so glad that Just Enough Jitsu is back, and I'm hoping it'll be back for years to come. This is probably
until Tom finally smartens up and says, "Get the hell out of here, Cecil."
Not gonna happen. We'll all revolt. That won't happen. That won't happen. But Just Enough Jitsu is on Friday morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. Don't miss it in the Hands-On Bay. And there's a repeat session on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And hopefully we'll get to talk also with Chuck Haggard and Scott Oates and Larry Lindemann about some of the follow-on classes that are also happening in the Hands-On Bay. Chris Fry's bringing back his famous progressive folding knife class. So there's a lot of, I think, connection between all the different classes. These trainers all know each other and are familiar with each other's techniques and schools of thought. And so it really does everything in the Hands-On Bay. I love it, especially this year, is turning into a very kind of cohesive unit. So I appreciate you guys coordinating with each other in that way and making it work so that it's,
I think
for everybody.
it works for us, but like I've already talked to Scotty to make sure that, we're kind of in sync with what's going on. So come to mine, take 10 minutes to catch your breath and hydrate, and then jump in on. And Scotty's and Larry, as much as I'm going to rag on Larry because I have to, Scotty, Chris, Larry, they're all going to approach their classes the same way I am. It's not about being, the meat eater. It's not about being a tough guy. Anybody can do any of these classes at whatever level you're comfortable with. And all of the instructor, all of them are going to do what they can to help you. If you could only do 15 minutes worth of work and then you just got to sit and watch, doesn't matter. Everyone, Larry, myself, Scotty, Chris, will all be like, hey, here's what you can do. And then, oh yeah, see what they're doing there. So think about that for next time. So absolutely, nobody should be afraid to do any of the hands-on stuff at all this year.
Love it, love it, love it. Just enough jits, and Cecil's approach to teaching is probably my second favorite thing about him. My first favorite thing about him is his dance skills. You will see at TACCon just how talented this man is. And hopefully I will get it on camera again.
But only on Sunday afternoon. I wait, right? I have to save it up till Sunday afternoon.
Make me wait.
When Tiffany is all tired and worn out, I got to give her a little bit of fun and get her jazzed back up again.
That's right. And I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Cannot wait. Sneak peek right there,
That's
folks.
Right. Sneak peek.
Can't wait to see you in Dallas, my friend. Thank you so much.
You bet. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.